It's pay-per-view time, everybody, and coming up on Full Brawl, we have a WCW World title match between Rey Mysterio and Ethan Carter III. The US title is on the line with Jay Lethal versus Cody Rhodes. We've got a TV title match between Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and a tag title match where we have the Motor City Machine Guns facing off against the Briscoe brothers. Plus, there's a surprise new signing who's going to be turning up a little bit later on in the show. Hello and welcome to part 8 of my Total Extreme Wrestling WCW playthrough. I'm Kev and welcome to the Full Brawl pay-per-view. The ice cream man's here. I mean, that's what you get on a pay-per-view. I'm on a diet. I can't go and get an ice cream. No ice cream for Kev. Oh, I really want an ice cream. What was I saying? Pay-per-view. Pre-show matches. We haven't really done this on pay-per-view before, but we've got a big roster. Let's get lots of them involved in a pre-show match. Particularly, Matt Morgan is officially rated as a main eventer, and I don't know that he's wrestled at all yet, apart from in that very first Battle Royale for the US title, maybe. So we've got Matt Morgan and Carlito versus Mr. Kennedy and Trent Seven. Great heat, decent wrestling, and it's Carlito defeating Trent Seven with a backstabber. It's Trent Seven's debut. He's just signed a contract extension with NXT, but it's not an exclusive contract, so he's staying with us as well. Carlito gets a D, as does Trent Seven. The other two getting D+. We get a D+ for the match overall. None of them are particularly screaming at me, please, please, use me in a proper storyline. So welcome to the pre-show, folks. Talking of the pre-show, we have a 10-man battle royal to decide who the #1 contender for the TV title is going to be. The TV title is going to be defended later on in the show. Regardless of who wins, they're going to be facing the winner of the Battle Royal. So we've got Bram versus Brodus Clay, Colt Cabana, David Hart Smith, Kazarian, Loki, Matt Riddle, Moose, Rhett Titus, and Zack Sabre Jr. It goes for 12 minutes. Zack Sabre Jr. picks up the win. The final four were him, Kazarian, Moose, and Loki. And Kazarian was the last one to be eliminated by Zack Sabre Jr. Moose getting the most eliminations over the course of the match. We get a lot of debuts here. There's a lot of people who we sort of had on the roster but never really thought of anything to do with. And I thought, let's do a Battle Royal so you can see who else we've got knocking around. You've met the entire mid-card upwards now. There's still some openers and enhancement talents who I probably shouldn't have signed, who I'll show you at some point. But you now should have a feel of everyone who's on the roster. And you can let me know down in the comments if there's any of these guys who I should be doing something a little bit more interesting with than a 10-man Battle Royal to see if they can challenge for the third most prestigious title in the company. But we get debuts from Bram, who gets a very good gimmick. Colt Cabana wasn't great. David Hart Smith, only an average gimmick. Kazarian, a great gimmick. Matt Riddle, poor. We get a D+ overall, but it doesn't matter because it's the pre-show. And now we get into the pay-per-view itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Full Brawl. And it opens up with our tag team title match. It's the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Briscoe brothers. It's a good match. And the Briscoes do defeat the Motor City Machine Guns to become the new WCW World Tag Team Champions. These are two really evenly matched teams. Everyone's getting a C+, C-. We get a C- on the match as well. It gets the show off to a strong start. The crowd are hot. They've seen a title change. The Briscoes are tag champions. Everyone's happy, apart from the Motor City Machine Guns, presumably. But I think that's a pretty solid start to the pay-per-view. And we move on into our TV title match. And it's Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. They know the winner of this one is going to be taking on Zack Sabre Jr. In the very near future. It's a decent reaction from the crowd, but the wrestling's not quite up to it. And Pete Dunne does defeat Tyler Bate again. It's his first defense of the TV title after he won it from Bate. Or did he win it from him? No, it was vacant, wasn't it? And then he won it. But these two are the only people who've ever competed for it. But Dunne wins again. Paul Heyman doing good work at ringside as Pete Dunne's manager. They both get E+, which isn't great. The Bate versus Dunne storyline has advanced. Well, we're going to end that storyline now. Bate's lost twice. We need to take him away, figure out something new to do with him. And we've now got Pete Dunne and Zack Sabre Jr. going forward. And we get a D- on that match, and hopefully Zack Sabre Jr. can pull a better match out of Pete Dunne than Tyler Bate has been, which, if you said that to somebody in the real world, well, I guess Zack Sabre Jr. can do a good match as well, but these two as a D- match, what? And now we get our match that sort of appeared organically out of out of nowhere. It's John Morrison versus Adam Cole. Great heat because of where the storyline came from. If you haven't seen where this one appeared from, watch the last couple of episodes and you'll see how suddenly Adam Cole has found himself up against John Morrison. And Cole does beat Morrison in 14 minutes. Gregory Helms, again, he's been the MVP of this whole feud, doing some good work at ringside on behalf of Adam Cole. The crowd are buzzing. John Morrison gets a C, Adam Cole a D+, and this storyline has advanced and gained heat. We get a C on the match, and I'm not sure if we're done with these two yet. I've been asking you to give me a plan for Adam Cole. There will be a new plan for Adam Cole, but at the moment, I wonder if it might be worth just having Morrison put him over again, because Morrison's a main eventer, Cole's a mid-carder, according to the auto-push stuff. So it's Morrison's not complaining about losing to him, which is important, because normally a main eventer against a mid-carder would kick off big style in this kind of situation, but Morrison's just like, whatever, I'll lie down, just get on top of me, and yeah, we get a C, and Cole picks up a win, and that's very important. And now they're not on the pay-per-view, but they're having a little backstage scuffle again. It's Damien Sandow and MVP, and Sandow attacks MVP backstage, leaves him just knocked out on the floor. The crowd get hotter, but somehow the storyline loses heat. How does that work, Total Extreme Wrestling? We only get a D. Their match on Nitro was better than that, so perhaps we need to stop having them backstage brawling and just get them involved in a proper pay-per-view match. Write that down. We'll do that next time if I remember. And talking of matches, we go into a tag team match. It's Mia Yim and Santana Garrett versus the Beautiful People. This has been simmering away on the last few episodes of Nitro. We get a decent reaction. No one's wrestling very well though. And it is Mia Yim and Santana Garrett who pick up the win, and it's Yim defeating Madison Rayne with a submission. The guillotine chokes back again. Mia Yim well ahead of everyone else in terms of wrestling quality. Angelina loves getting better at her gimmick. Madison Rayne didn't really turn up today, which is a bit of a shame. We get a D- out of Mia Yim, which you'd expect from our women's champion, and E+ from everybody else. But most importantly, I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that we're going to try and do a bit of a Santana Garrett push. How am I going to do that when we have a face who we want to push and a face as women's champion? We pair them together and get Santana Garrett a pay-per-view win, and that's exactly what we've done. And now we'll do a proper women's title match on the next pay-per-view and actually have Mia Yim defending her title. And we move into our next match, which this was an unannounced four-way tag team match. Kev, are you trying to get all your big guys involved in a match on the pay-per-view? Maybe. So we've got the Young Bucks versus the world's greatest tag team versus Evan Bourne and Ricochet versus the British Invasion. They've all been in and around the tag title scene on Nitro for the last few weeks. We get good heat, we get decent wrestling, and most importantly, we get the Young Bucks defeating the other three teams. It was an elimination match. It wasn't meant to be, but it is. Bourne and Ricochet eliminated first, then the British Invasion, followed by the world's greatest tag team. Shelton Benjamin putting in a fantastic performance once again. I really need to give that man a win at some point. Might even, see, I'm already thinking he'd be someone nice to feed to Adam Cole next, but I can't keep having Shelton Benjamin lose. That's crazy. Star of the match was Benjamin. Although Magnus and Charlie Haas both doing pretty well as well. Everyone else so. The weakest links, according to in-ring performance, were the winners of the match, the Young Bucks. But it does advance our world's greatest tag team versus British Invasion storyline. It advances our Young Bucks versus Ricochet and Bourne storyline. That one gains heat. We get a C for the match. Overall, a good result. And now we have our US title match. It's Jay Lethal versus champion Cody Rhodes. And once again, Cody Rhodes defeats Jay Lethal. It's his first defense of the WCW United States title, which he won from him at the previous pay-per-view. In fact, they're both visibly tiring towards the end of a 17-minute match. What? How's that? But the crowd are really buzzing. Fantastic heat, good wrestling. Who cares if they were getting a little bit tired then? I'm surprised that Lethal only comes out with a D+, but Cody Rhodes with a solid C, which tells me the right man has won this feud. And now we need a new opponent for Cody Rhodes going forward. Let me know down in the comments who that opponent should be, and also what we should do with Jay Lethal from here. But we get a C as a result for the match, and Cody Rhodes going forward as champion. I think it's important for Bullet Club, certainly while we're waiting for us to grow big enough that Kenny Omega might decide to come over. It's important that we keep Bullet Club relevant, and I think keeping the US title on Cody Rhodes and keeping the Young Bucks in around the tag title picture is the right way to keep the Bullet Club relevant. I don't know if we're ever going to grow big enough while they're still holding those titles to bring Kenny Omega in, but that would be the dream, have Bullet Club holding all the gold. But I think we're a long way away from that unless we move Cody Rhodes into the world title picture once he's had a nice US title run. And we have got Marty Scurll knocking around as a member of Bullet Club as well. The only problem with him is, despite him being on a pay-per appearance contract for us, he can't ever appear when we've got a show on. He's never available for Nitro because he's off wrestling somewhere else, and he wasn't available for this pay-per-view because he's off wrestling somewhere else. So until we can bring Marty Scurll in, we can't really move Rhodes up, if that's the plan. Who knows? We'll figure something out, no doubt. We might not even go that route with Bullet Club in the end. We shall have to see. Oh, I mentioned there was a new signing. I'd forgotten about him. Here we go, Eric Bischoff announcing his new signing. It's only Bully Ray off of Ring of Honor, who looks a lot like that fella who used to wrestle in the WWE, in the Dudleys as well. Well, I never, but we have a major new signing, a proper main eventer arriving in WCW. Bully Ray's here. He gets a great initial rating. We get a B on the segment, and all of a sudden we have a new player in our WCW title picture, because darn tooting, that's where Bully Ray's going to be, and he's injecting himself well into that scene immediately. Hello Bully Ray, welcome along. Talking of the world title picture, these are three guys who should be part of that, but are too busy messing around in their own little scrap between each other. Bobby Lashley in the 2-on-1 match versus the Nexus, or what's currently fit of the Nexus, because Justin Gabriel nursing his wounds that were inflicted by Lashley, so he couldn't make it to the pay-per-view. But we have fantastic heat and great wrestling. These three are working really, really well together. I need to find a way to keep this feud going a little bit longer. But it is today Wade Barrett and Ryback defeating Bobby Lashley. It's Wade Barrett who gets the pin. And there we go. Wade Barrett has pinned Bobby Lashley. I wonder if there'll be repercussions of that. We get a C+ from Lashley, C's from the other two. The storyline advances. We get a C for the match. Those three, good value for money. Solid performances from all of them. And that leads us into our world title match. It's Rey Mysterio versus Ethan Carter III. And we do have a new WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Ethan Carter defeats Rey Mysterio on 19 minutes. Following interference from Jack Swagger and Ted DiBiase Jr., the other members of the Dangerous Alliance. Pete Dunne not getting involved today because he was busy earlier on with his title. But the Dangerous Alliance inject themselves into this again. They don't interfere directly in the finish, but they're constantly at Rey Mysterio throughout the match. And we do get a new champion. It's EC3. Mysterio gets a B-, Carter a C+. They've got great chemistry together, and it shows in their performance. This isn't going to be the last Rey Mysterio versus Ethan Carter III match, you see. And in fact, our world title storyline has advanced, and we've gained heat, and we got a B on the segment. So it's definitely not going to be the last time we see these two face off, because I think that might be the best single match that we've had with WCW so far. It's an exceptional match. And we do have a new champion. And talking of making stables look strong by giving them lots of gold, we've now got the world title and the TV title inside the Dangerous Alliance. We might need to form a Jack Swagger and Ted DiBiase tag team to see if we can collect all the gold, or at least have one of them go for the US title. Oh, the opportunities are endless. Let's end our show, and we get a B-. We get a B- on a pay-per-view. That's a massive, massive result. The show's increased our popularity in 23 regions. Things are going well, and in the next episode you'll see if we've managed to start making some kind of dent on our massive debt that we're in to get us to the point where we've got these kind of wrestlers involved. But as ever, let me know down in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like about the way that was booked. What would you do differently? Where do you take these feuds and these titles from here? And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.